And somebody might have said McDonald's, somebody might have said Burger King, and we could have did both. Everybody would have been happy. You know what I mean? But me, you know, I'm thinking for everybody. Shit ain't always good. You know what I'm saying? Shit ain't always good. You know? Family, we can resolve that shit. You know what I mean? But my thing about silence is golden. You know? Because I found myself before trying to explain myself to another individual because they done misunderstood me. I'm trying to explain myself. Now I hope y'all see where I'm going with this. Trying to explain myself, you know? Where I'm going with this is when you get out, this for people that's incarcerated. When you get out, don't your family don't want to hear a whole lot of this? Shut the F up and just show them. Y'all know the saying. The mouth will say anything, but behavior don't lie.
All right.
Behavior don't lie. You telling me one thing and your behavior is saying something totally different. What am I to believe? What you saying? Or should I believe your behavior? You know what I mean? And I'm going to go with the behavior. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with the behavior. So I learned, man, just keep your mouth shut and do what you need to do. Do what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Because my people done heard that shit before. My mother, God bless her, she said, is he crazy? Is he crazy? He done lost his mind. If he think we believe in that bullshit that he keep telling us, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, because I'm telling you, with me, I ain't never tried to run no game on my mother to get no money. No. Mom's gonna go in for that shit. I remember after being clean 5, 6 years or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I asked her mom to borrow some money, you know? Mom told me just like this, and I know she loved me to death. She said, you clean, but you ain't that damn clean. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm all for you, but I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? And I said, okay. But then, you know, as time continued, when my mother got to be sick, man, I got a brother and a sister, you know. My mother got to be sick, man. She picked me as her power of attorney. You know? Boy, that blows me away. Because I had already started my redemption tour. You know what I'm saying? In recovery. I had started my redemption tour. You know, when you talk about making amends to somebody, you know, man, it was my mother. I wanted to make amends to her before my wife. You know, my mother. And man, I mean, when she was like, look, I want Marshall to handle the money. You know? And I did it, man. I did it. You know what I mean? Got some of them, still got some of them there. My wife told me the other day, she said, look, you need to dispense that money to your brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, but it ain't that much, but you know, I'll do that. You know what I mean? But, you know, it was, man, her recognizing my behavior. You know? Man, I was there, man. I mean, look, 3 days a week, man, I'm over at my mom's, man. Pizza, fish, chicken, you know, with something to eat, you know. And I focus on that. You know what I'm saying? I focus on that. You know what I mean? And man, it was good. It was good. Let me tell you, I had a great day today. Great day. Went to play golf today. Mind you now, I had surgery February 6th. Radical nephrectomy. Went in there, took one of my kidneys out. Yeah. Went in there, took one of my kidneys out. So what I'm processing what I'm absorbing in my mind is a whole lot of things that I may not be able to do because of the surgery. I ain't know nothing about the surgery. A whole lot of things I may not be able to do. One of them was I may not be able to play golf again. And I love golf. I love playing golf, you know. And I'm telling you, man, I played golf today. I mean, that was part of my, that ain't the first time I done played, but you know, that was part of my prayers this morning. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because it was up to me, I'd probably be dead. I'd be scared to swing and all of that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But man, I got what I needed from it. I mean, I don't know how many people, man, that I met that ain't got but one kidney. You know what I'm saying? That's how this shit work, man. You know what I'm saying? I met a whole lot of people, man, that gave me some encouragement, that gave me some faith. That, you know, so man, look here, my intent now, the boys keep living. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy my days. You know what I'm saying? And man, look, I do that, man, to the best of my ability every day. I get up, man, and enjoy my day. You know? And I thoroughly enjoy the day today. I'm coming over here and I'm listening to the oldie but goodie station. You know what I mean? And they had a song on there, said, "Can you feel like this?" Man, they were playing that shit too, you know what I'm saying? You know? And I was like, man, I go back to John, man. John was, he used to talk all the time, man, about the recovery high versus the drug high. You know what I'm saying? The recovery high. You got to experience that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a whole lot of you don't understand what it's about. You don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say this before I sit down. John celebrated 42 years in recovery. Sir, it's 42 years. That was his birthday. You know what I mean? And man, what brought that shit into perspective, man, his sponsor spoke. And this sponsor said, man, it's probably about 100 people worldwide that got 40 years. 100 worldwide that got 40 years of recovery.
In NA.
Right. Yeah. You know? And man, I love the history that he was putting down. You know? When NA first broke and started their own thing, these people said, man, let us know when we can come to the funeral. Because they was thinking, man, that we didn't have what it took to keep this thing going, to save nobody and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then from that, I just think, man, September 1st, I'll have 36 years. I know a couple of people that got 37 years. I know a couple of people that got 38 years. You know? I know from personal experiences, man, this shit work, man. This shit work. And we don't say that. I don't announce John's date and his recovery and all that. You know what I'm saying? To put him on no pedestal. I'm doing that to let you know that it's possible. Because some of us, I'm telling you that, I know some people out there that still trying to do it their way. And that shit ain't working. You might can do it your way for a month, 6 months. Shit, Mike can do it your way for a year. You know? And then you start to going in the other direction and start to wonder what happened. What I do know, and I see evidence of this shit every day. Man, that shit that's out there on the street, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, that's some powerful shit. That shit's so powerful. You know, it'll have you thinking that you're all right. It'll have you thinking that you're all right. You know? Shit. Well, I ain't had nothing. I've been in jail for goddamn it a year. Been in jail for 13 months. I can go out there and do a little something. You know? Like I'm all right. I'm telling you. I don't know what all right is to handle this shit right here that they got out on the street now. All right is a goddamn program. If you ain't got a program, shit, you pissing in the wind. You know? Cause that shit, that man, I see that shit all the time, man. All I do is I shake my head. Damn. And for those that don't know, I got a recovery family. You know, my wife, man, to get a hold of this thing, my wife went to Al-Anon, goddamn it, man, 34 years ago. I'm coming up on 36 years. She went to Al-Anon 34 years ago. Because she wanted to get a better understanding of this shit. You know what I mean? I mean, every now and then I go through some of her paperwork and I read her diary. The diary that she was keeping about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I said, God damn. I mean, just like John's anniversary is motivation to me, when I read that diary, that's motivation as well. Because I'm telling you, I just want to give you a hint. Self-motivation don't always get it. It don't always get it. Because, man, doubt and apprehension, that shit been around since the beginning of time. He'll tell you, you know, that shit been around since the beginning of time. And it's still around. You have doubt in your mind. That's why I say you got to have a program. If you got doubt in your mind and you don't have a program, what you going to do?
Out of the whole ground.
Huh?
Out of the whole ground.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's tough, man. I don't know how this shit got started. But I know it's been going on for a long time. AA, 12-step AA, that shit started 1935. Shit was going on then, man. People were drinking alcohol, doing drugs, and didn't know how to. That peer recovery shit, man. You know? That shit took place back in 1935. Dude was an alcoholic. He called somebody else that was an alcoholic, and they talked on the telephone for a whole goddamn hour, 2 hours. And he said, damn, man, I feel better, man. You know? Feel better. Man, shit, I'll call somebody tomorrow. That's how simple that shit was, man. You know, I'll call somebody tomorrow and see what happens. You know what I mean? When you ain't got nothing to do, look at the history of 12-step program. Look at the history of 12-step program. You ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? That shit'll wake you up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and when we woke. That they woke. The opposite of sleep. You know what I'm saying? That shit'll wake you up. You know what I'm saying? And why I'm saying that? Because I had to be woke. You know what I'm saying? I had to be woke and realize and understand, boy, this shit on the table, this somebody put on the table, man, that shit ain't nothing to be played with, man. That shit ain't nothing to be played with. You know what I'm saying? You're asking yourself, man, how did I get here? I know how you got there. I always say, I wonder if I knew what I knew now, would I have ventured into that shit? Come sniff this. You can get a nice blast, but it will fuck your life up about 20 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you be like, oh, bullshit. I'm a party animal. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna fuck my life. I'm never have a good time about 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And as you already heard me say, you know, when we come in here after 20 years, goddamn, be leaking oil, and be leaking oil, piss, blood, you name it, be leaking everything. You know what I'm saying? And you still telling yourself, I'm all right. Yeah, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Man, you got kids, man. You got kids. They be seeing that shit, man. What's wrong with mama? Man, I was in here some time ago, and I saw this video, man, where this little young kid in Detroit, man, was looking for his mother. And he found his mother over there on the little stoop by the store. Hadn't seen his mother in like a day or so. Mother was over there on the stoop, man. This little boy was like 10 years old. He walked up to his mother, man, and I mean, smack the shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? And man, he was getting ready to hit her again. Somebody that was out there with us said, no, man, no, don't hit her no more. You know what I'm saying?
What you was watching again?
Huh?
What you was watching?
Oh, I saw that shit on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So this real deal.
Oh yeah, real deal. Somebody was feeling that shit. Well, somebody was feeling it, you know. But I'm just thinking, you know, too, man, how this shit affects, man. How this shit affects the kids. You know what I'm saying? Man, we don't have a clue, man. Well, I'm so glad my son was so young. He really don't even know. You know what I mean? What was going on with me in the addiction thing? My daughter does. You know what I'm saying? But my son does. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, Lord, we got a dynamite speaker because he's my golf partner. You know what I'm saying? John's my golf partner. You know. Now I need to tell y'all, before I came into recovery, man, golf looked like some of the stupidest shit you ever want to play. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and they broke it down something to me. Hey, you like shooting pool, don't you? Man, I hang in the pool with them all day. You know what I'm saying? They said, look here, man, putting is just like playing pool. Then I started to see some of the old pool heads. I started seeing them at the golf course. I said, damn, there must be something to this. It reminds me that I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Whole lot of shit I don't know. You know? But I thank God, man, that I maintain an open mind and, you know, to try some shit. You know what I'm saying? My wife bought me my first set of golf clubs, John. My wife bought them to me. Because her supervisor at work said, do your husband play golf? She said, no, he don't play golf. They said, what? You don't play golf? Man, they gave me a shag bag, you know what I'm saying, a putter, got them sand wedge, said take this home to him. And I did, and I started hitting that shit, right? And then she gave me a set of clubs for my Christmas present, you know. And you know, I got that addicted personality, I got hooked on that shit, you know what I'm saying? Damn, that's all right, you know. But anyway, man, y'all give John a shout out. 42 years. 42 years, man. Can y'all believe that? Man. Hey, I met him 36 years ago.
You spent way more than I've been alive.
Most people. Yeah. You're on 42, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Marshall has, man. You know, I do like golf. We didn't play, like 4 of us in recovery was out there walking Belmont, running Belmont. It's a fun little track. It's a great relaxation, fun activities. You walk, so you break a sweat, and you get some exercise in. It is a hard game. I hit some of the best drives I've ever hit since I've been playing back again. I mean, real beauties. But I'm the kind of guy, you know, hit the wall to the flag, but there's a bunker between me and them. Oh yeah, I found every goddamn bunker. It's like takes the sport out of it. Yeah. But I'll tell you a golf joke. Y'all want to hear one? It's got to be 100% hands got to go up. It's got a little grease to it. Your hands ain't up, man. Are we all there? Reverend? Come on, try to be against your religion. But this guy's out there golfing. He come over from Ireland, never played America. He's playing American courses. And he slices the ball into the buttercups. And he'd never seen that many buttercups in his whole life, and they're beautiful. And he can't go in there racking at them buttercups and destroying these beautiful plants. So he takes the ball and he moves it over out of the buttercups. He takes a 2-stroke penalty. And Mother Nature just beamed down on him and said, wow, I've never seen a golfer preserve my buttercups like that. This is amazing. So as a token of my appreciation to you, I'm going to give you a year's supply of butter. And the guy got to thinking,
He said, well, where were you last week when I hit the ball in the pussy whip?
Check to see you paid attention.
A year's supply.
Now, the reverend's getting ready to get out, right? I call him around, ain't you a preacher? Yeah, just because you go to jail, you're still a preacher, you know what I mean? That would go the way. That's true, you know? I'd say some other things, but I don't want to hurt nobody. Here's what's going to happen. You've been in a while. You're excited as hell. You got all these dreams and fantasies of what it's going to be like when you get out. Trust me, reality is outside the door. It's going to hit hard. And you're going to get into your feelings. It won't take long. You know, don't let your feelings be fact. Okay, feelings aren't fact. You got to remember that. That goes, because a lot of times we get feelings and we do something stupid. And what we did has a consequence that becomes a fact. Y'all got to be aware of that. This shit's real. Now, one thing I noticed about recovery, what separates people in recovery from those in active addiction, think about this. Me, Marshall, John, Stu, we have connection. We got community. Okay? You with me? We got a place to go, people to talk to, people to share that shit with. Pay the fuck attention, goddamn it. Y'all act like y'all never seen folks before. What am I missing here, man? Good Lord. Oh, I see, I get it. Y'all bad, man. You need some mercy? We'll bring some strippers in here. Mail and female, something for everybody.
Yeah.
I'll even bring some freaks in here for y'all. Focus. So, here's what's going to happen, Rev. If you find your people in recovery, that's your herd, man. That's your people. You find your people, you have a safe place to go and share that shit. You with me? That's important. Because if you don't, what are you going to end up doing with it? What we always do, and it don't end good. And you can trust recovery, you can trust the fellowship, you can trust the people. Not everybody, y'all got a lick of sense, right? You obviously know who you can and can't work with or deal with. But it is so important, Ralph, when you get out, find your recovery connection, man. You're going to be glad you did. And I hope when each and every one of you get out, you find your recovery herd, you're safe in the herd. Recovery is like a lifeboat, you with me? Y'all have that lecture yet, the lifeboat lecture? I'm sure you did. If you're in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, a 10-man lifeboat, 20 people need to get in the lifeboat, there's sharks in the water, people on the outside of the lifeboat, people in the water trying to pull those people in so they can get the seat so they don't get eaten by the shark. But the people in the center of that lifeboat are safe. Nobody's going to pull them in the water. Recovery, your herd, your people, your home group, your support group, your sponsorship family. You get in the middle of that and you're safe. You really are. It sounds bizarre and weird and strange, I get it, but it's a reality. If you chase your recovery, and I'm not saying don't chase family connection and employment and use of productive members of society stuff, you got to do that too. But you better find the center of your life over in recovery so you have the same place to go and be. You never know when you're going to need that connection. And you want it to be there when you do need it. Okay? But you got to work for it. You got to prep for it, prepare for it. You're the one that's got to go do the work and make that happen. Each and every one of you, when you get out, it's going to be your responsibility to do the work and make that happen. It's not coming to you, I promise you. Okay? You got to go find it, and it is there. And you won't regret it. But if you find yourself in trouble when you're outside and you need it and it ain't there, you will regret not doing the work. You got to do the work up front. It will pay off. That's why I'm here 42 plus years later. As a new person in recovery, I was 23 years old in the Marine Corps, very difficult place to find recovery. recovery, sustained recovery, and found your people. But I worked for it, I found it, and it has served me well. And everywhere I go in life, I find my people. It serves me well. I never dreamed 42 years ago that it would be a highlight of my day, walk around with 3 other old guys on a golf course, chasing a little white ball, and then follow up with a meeting at the jail. But I'm telling you, that stuff serves me well, and it will you too. But is it worth being locked up? I don't know. I only got locked up 12 times, 4 times in foreign countries. That was all BC before crack, and that was back in the catch and release days. Yeah, so I don't know. But I do know one thing, the work I do in recovery, it ain't that hard, it ain't that bad, and the dividends are incredible. We won't regret it. Now, we were banging around today, one of whom was going to speak tonight, and one of our golf buddies to show up tonight. Great guy, we love him to death, he's a very nice person, speaks better than I do. What he said is very meaningful. He doesn't talk a lot, doesn't talk long, but what he says is worth listening to. So let's pay close attention and give John a nice warm congratulations.
Another John?
Another John.
Yeah, John's all over the
And he beats me in golf every time we play. I have to teach him how to win the money though. But
His money spins good.
That's right.
My name's John, and I'm an addict.
Hey, John.
I don't know how to follow that. Because these two gentlemen are the reason I'm standing up in front of you today. They're two of the reasons. There's a lot of reasons I'm standing here today. But I want to tell a little story about one of the times when I first met Marshall. Marshall was doing a group at McShin. I also went through McShin. We'll get to that in just a minute. And the question that he kept asking everybody is, why are you here? Why are you here? And everybody kept giving the answers. I'm here because of my family. I'm here because of my kid. I don't think he ever actually asked me because I would have given some bullshit answer. You know, I'm here to get my life back in order and all this other stuff. And I never could figure out exactly why am I here? Why am I here? This is, you know, in 2021 when I first came in. My clean date's April 20th, 2021. And this is within a few weeks. And I kept thinking about it. I'm here for all those good reasons. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. I want to be happy again. I want to be happy now. But I'm here because I never want to feel like I did on the morning of April 20th, 2021 when I woke up in a house that hadn't had running water for at least a month. Shit and piss all over the place. Trash stacked up everywhere. I couldn't sit up because I don't remember how long it had been since I had eaten. So every time I sat up, I either passed out or went back down. I'd gone to bed the night before thinking, okay, I can't get out of bed, I can't move. All right, if this is it, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I hit the end of the road. When I got up the next morning, I woke up. I didn't think I was going to wake up. Still, you know, I couldn't do anything. I did two things that morning. One, I called my mother, which I'd been doing every day at 9 o'clock in the morning because it was COVID, right? And I'd call her and I'd just check on her. And I called her and lied to her and said, Mom, I'm doing great today or fine. I don't even remember what the hell I said, but I know it was a lie. And then I turned around and I called and I said, I'm done. And I called 911 and I said, can y'all send somebody over here to come into my house because I can't get to the door. And the police will break into your house. And they did. And they came in and this lady comes in. Young lady. I didn't recognize her. She called me by my name. And she literally picked me up and carried me outside and put me on a gurney. That's the beginning of my recovery. That's the beginning of my recovery. It's the first time in 45 years of active addiction, you know, good, bad, whatever, that I'd actually asked somebody to help me. Because I could not do it by myself. I could not physically walk through the door. I couldn't do it. So this lady picks me up, puts me on the ground. Of course, the whole neighborhood, you know, they're out, and they take me out. They put me in the ambulance, and I don't really know what they did to me. But after a little bit, when we got to the hospital, the lady, she was a young lady, she said, "Mr. Pate," that's my last name, and she said, "Mr. Pate, you don't remember me, but you taught me." Because I was a school teacher. And all that shame, it just sat down on me. She came back later and checked on me, which was good. That was the beginning of my recovery. I don't want to. Why am I here, Marshall? Because I don't want to do that again. I got no interest in doing that again. And if that means I have to do things that I'm very uncomfortable with, that's fine. I will never be as uncomfortable as I was when those people came in that house and saw it. I was living like an animal. How did I get there? It's 45 years. We don't have time for me to explain to you how I got there. But how did I get here? That's the important part. How did I go from April 20th, 2021, physically a wreck? John remembers seeing me when I came in. That was 3 weeks in. Physically a wreck, mentally not even knowing what was going on, and spiritually absolutely nothing. The only emotions I had at that point, if I had them, were fear and anger. I didn't think anything. I had just given completely up. How did I get here? Well, the first thing I did is I asked somebody to come get me. Next thing I did was call my sister, who I hadn't talked to in about a year. And I asked her, told her where I was, and she said, "I'll help you, but you're going to do everything I tell you to do." That's my sister. She tells you what's going to happen. I asked somebody for help. After spending a couple weeks in the hospital, detoxing, going through that whole process, anybody who's been through it, you know how bad it is. Okay, I'm an alcoholic, and if I hadn't been in the hospital by that point, I, probably would have been dead by now. And so went through all that, came to Richmond, was going to Greensboro. The next day or something, I was supposed to go to Greensboro, to some place in Greensboro. It was like an institution where they put you in, they didn't let you out and all this stuff. Well, thank my higher power, God, gave me a hernia that night. Let's come back. Gave me a hernia that night.
Nobody begs for a hernia.
And I got a hernia that night. The next morning I got up to take a shower and I'm white and I'm high and I'm sweating and all. My sister, bless her, she takes me to the hospital again. And the doctor says, "You have to have surgery Monday. You're not going to Greensboro." Well, my sister, honestly, she wants me out of the house. She doesn't, And one of her friends said the name McShin. That's how I ended up at McShin.
I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah, I came from North Carolina. And got to McShin and sat down in another room in front of the lady who does the intakes. Joyce is her name. And I said, "I need help." I asked somebody for help again. You see where this is going? I have to keep asking people for help. From there, it was a program. It was a 28-day program. But I remember going to that program because I was not happy. I physically felt bad. I couldn't walk around. I had a little cane and all this other stuff. I'd had surgeries. My brain was just completely messed up. It takes a while for it all to come back to you. And I remember, I went from a house living completely by myself, which was not good, to a house with 10 guys and one bathroom because one of them was broken. And thinking, what am I doing here? Why am I here? I'm a retired school teacher from the state of North Carolina. I'm supposed to be at the beach. I'm supposed to be watching women go up and down the beach. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. When I look back, I'm glad I was in that house because it's the first time I heard voices in a house besides my own. You live alone is a comfort to hear a voice. But at the time, I didn't want to do that. And they make you go to these groups. McShin puts you in these groups. Now, I'm being a little negative, but I'm still here, so obviously this worked. But they send you to these groups, and people start talking about triggers. And they start talking, give me some words here, character defects, and all this other stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, would you please tell me how I'm not going to walk away and go to Valero and drink today? That makes sense? I love everything I was hearing because I'm educated and all that crap. I can understand everything that's going on, but in the back of my brain, I'm thinking 28 days, I go back to that house, I can clean up the mess. Where can stack up to here? I can clean it all up, and life's going to be good. Just tell me how to get the lunch without going crazy. And I kind of asked that one day. And there's a guy there that does an AA meeting at lunch. And he said, well, I just used to break my day down in 2-hour periods. 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10. If I get back to 10, I'm probably not going to drink that day. That's what I did. I didn't talk in groups. I didn't want to be there. But I was there. And now I kind of, you were talking about, you have to do something active for your addiction. You have to find ways, concrete ways that make me not use. Because I was learning how to be clean. My body didn't want to be clean. My brain didn't want to be clean. My spirit didn't want to be clean, but I needed to get clean. I still do that today. It's 6 o'clock. 4 more hours. It's a good chance I've made it through today. I don't do that every day. I don't walk around going, oh, it's this. But every now and then I'll look at my clock and my watch, and it just reminds me where I am. Because my disease requires every day that I work on it. It's a disease that I cannot take a day off from. From there, I made it through the 28 days. They said, and then you have to go to meetings. I keep saying have to, because at that point it was a have to. It was you're going to meetings. NA meetings. My program is Narcotics Anonymous. And that's what I settled on later. But we go to these meetings. Well, you know what? If you keep going to a meeting long enough, they keep doing these readings. Y'all know the readings? Why am I here? Who was an addict? I can answer that question, but I didn't want to. And if you keep listening long enough, it starts sinking in. For me, part of my recovery is repetition. It's doing some of the same stuff over and over and over again. That's what I was doing. I was getting up at 4 o'clock. I wasn't getting up at 4 o'clock to watch the news. Okay? So it's doing the same, and it just began to creep in. I didn't want to be in those meetings. And I'm glad I had the structure around me to keep me going to that. And when I made it through the 28 days, I remember very clearly on the 21st day, the house leader and I just got into an argument. He's big. Remember Kevin? Kevin was huge. And I'm a little 60-year-old man. He's going to beat the crap out of me. But I get into an argument with him. It was 21 days in. I get into an argument with him. They sent me over there, and I was like, send me home. Send me home. Send me home. I want to go home. And one of them convinced me to stay. And I stayed. Made it through that. And then I started getting a little hurt. I knew some people. And I had a couple people I could talk to. Started going to meetings on my own. After a few weeks, a couple weeks after that, I got it in my brain again, I wanted to go home. And I asked somebody, and I said, I think I want to go home. I think I'm ready to go home. And they said, when's the last time you had a vacation? Yeah, I had the same thought. What's he talking about? He said, when's the last time you sat down and did nothing? Just did nothing. Using's not a vacation. When I was using it was planning to use. It was making sure I never ran out. How did I get there without the police catching me? See, I got lucky the police never called me. Either they weren't very bright or they all knew me because I taught school in the same town and they let me slide. But anyway, he said, why don't you just take a 2-week vacation? You're in a house. Just took 2 more weeks. By this time I got my truck, I could leave. Nobody was making me stay. Nobody was making me stay, but I was changing. When I look back on it now, I must have not wanted to leave. I knew it wasn't going to work. And I kept going to meetings. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about most of the time. Sometimes I still don't know what they're talking about in meetings. But I've learned to ask somebody, what are you talking about? And I kept going to meetings. And I learned how, and I began to learn how to stay clean. That's the first thing. The first rule is I can't use anything, anytime. Every day, I can't pick up. So how do you do that? So I got a home group. This did not happen in a week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm stubborn. Okay, it's about 9 months before John, about 6 months before John really began to pick it up and really get into it. But I got a home group. Home group met on Friday night. It's my second home group. I had one for a couple of weeks, but that was, But in this home group, they met on Friday night. Friday night for me was go out to eat, go home, wake up Monday. Right, that's what it was. So I go to my home group. We had the meeting. I got a little service thing. We go out to eat. And I went home and didn't drink. They were teaching me to be clean. You can do this stuff without the drugs. So I'm not picking up. From my home group and from my community now, I'm developing a little group. I've got 3 or 4 people that I know, that I talk to, that are interested in me actually staying clean, even though I don't know why. They didn't know me from Adam. That's the beauty of this program. Nobody cares where you came from and what went on. They just want you not to use today. And so I got this little herd. And from that herd, and from that herd kind of in my home group, that herd came from there. And some of these guys back here are in it. John's in it when he lets me win money. Otherwise, I'll be pushing about it. But from that herd, that's where I finally got this, 9 months in, I got a sponsor. Not a sponsor that I wanted, but a sponsor that really I needed. I had a sponsor once. I made my living talking. And he asked me, he said, you want to write the steps down or you just want to talk about them? This sponsor I got actually is interested in me, not Not just learning to stay clean, but learning how to live my life differently. Being honest, being open-minded, being willing, not being judgmental, willing to take some chances. And through that, I began to work the steps. Continue to go to meetings. I got a new home group now. My first one, you grow, you change. I have a home group. Go to my home group every week. I had to substitute some things. I'm retired. A retired alcoholic is not good in the morning. So what do? I worked here a little while. And once I quit the job I had here in Richmond, I had trouble with the morning, right? Get up and I'm like, what am I going to do to 10? I know what I used to do. And I will go back to what I'm familiar with. And I said, well, there's a 9 o'clock meeting. Substitute the meeting. And as I began to work the steps, I began to see a change. I lied. But now I know when I'm doing it. Now I recognize it. Now I'm starting to take that little, before I say it, just that little pause. I still do stupid stuff. I still go down rabbit holes in my brain that I can't seem to get out of sometimes. But I have people that I can get in touch with, and I have ways to work around it now. I've been to every thrift store in Richmond. Middle of the afternoon, if I have nothing to do, I can't sit in my apartment, I go to a thrift store. I'm learning now how not to spend money in thrift stores.
Go right here.
So, my recovery is based on some simple ideas. I cannot use today. I wake up every morning. One of the first things I do is to kind of reinforce my desire not to use today. I have to maintain the same desire I had on April 20th, 2021. That desire that I had that day that led me to make those phone calls. If I lose that desire, then I know what happens. I'll back up, or I'll slow down and then I'll back up, and then Katie barred the door. What happens next? So every morning I make that decision. I actually do reading. You know, I'm an old English teacher. I read in the morning. I say a little prayer. You know, take my will and my life, God, me my recovery, shut me how to live. I eat. I know this sounds basic. This is what I wanted somebody to tell me those first few days I was there. I eat. I'm retired, I gotta find something to do. Do a little service work sometimes. Maybe go play golf in the morning. I usually play golf with people who are in recovery. If not, I go to a meeting. The cool part is, now that I've been doing that, I'm beginning to handle not having somewhere to go in the morning, and I don't feel the stress. So if I miss the meeting, I'm not, but I gotta have something there. Sometime during the day, I'm gonna get some exercise. And I'm 63. 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm done. Evening meeting, maybe not. And at night, I just take a moment to think about my day. One of the guiding principles that I'm using lately, and I'm trying to use, is this idea of dignity and grace. If I can go to bed at night knowing that I've treated other people with dignity and grace, then I know that I'm recovering, because that means I'm treating myself with dignity and grace. If I do that during the day, if I can go to bed knowing that I've treated people correctly, then I sleep well. It took a long time to be able to sleep. That's it. Just don't wake up.
Anybody got any questions for John?
Oh,
My heart goes out to him, man, I tell you, because he's from North Carolina, you know? I used to think, man, I'm this individual that got a lot of courage and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Man, I went out of town one time for 18 months. Haul ass get back, you know what I'm saying? But to actually live, you know what I'm saying? Man, I got a couple family members, you know what I mean? That relocated, you know? And to relocate under those circumstances, you know what I'm saying? I understand the feelings I went through about my daughter when she relocated, you know? It's like, man, she don't know nobody, you know? And you got to, you know, make friends and meet new people and all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm good at that, you know? I'm good at that. But some people, not so much, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, I'm thinking that's going to be a hindrance to them, you know? But I remember seeing John's sister, you know, the one that, you know, helped him get here, you know, at his anniversary, you know? And I told her, I said, hey, we got it, you know? We're going to take care of it, you know what I mean? And, you know, that was the same thing that was done for me, you know, when I showed up, you know what I mean? They said the same thing. And they'll say the same thing to you and anybody else. We got you, you know what I mean? We got you. And you know, to help you out, man, to help you along the way and shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, because we still think, man, that, you know, shit, man. Play that God complex. I don't need no help, I don't need no help. I do it on my own, you know what I'm saying? Shit, it beat. I mean, to dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper, you know? A lot of times, like John was talking about, there's consequences behind that shit, you know what I mean? Most of us don't have that kind of foresight. We good individuals with, you know, hindsight. We can look back and all that, but having some foresight, we ain't got that shit. Don't even know what the goddamn word is. Don't even use the words, you know what I mean? Like having a little vision. You heard, you know, they had one time, man, look. I mean, some people can't even see to the corner, much less around the corner. I ain't got no vision. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe, man, when we start to use it, shit, yeah, I mean, we stop growing, man, we stop developing. You know what I mean? We function off of old ideas and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna get you nowhere, you know? But anyway, let's get John another hand. Thank you, John. And let's give him a name. This is your last group? Damn! You should have told me, man. I should have got this in.
He gets something real soon.
But anyway, I'll see you when you get up.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay. Next Wednesday?
Yeah, so we'll be at East next Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we'll see you, man. We'll see you.
He's gonna come to McShane. I mean, you'll hang out and talk and chat.
Yeah, we'll see you, you know. So, hey, man, this is special for me, special for John, everybody else, man. We do this now, you know. Some volunteer work, you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, man. Keep us, man, on the straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? You know, love y'all, love what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just do your part. You know what I'm saying? Me and John, we doing our part. I think about like John was talking about the commitment. About the commitment. You know what I mean? I mentioned earlier. You know about get to talk. It's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Man, all of us want to play golf. Man, I'm 72 years old. Man, I'm tired as a mother. You know what I'm saying? I went straight home, took a shower. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, look, I can't miss the beat. I'll be here. You know what I mean? John texted me and said, the guy that was supposed to speak, he bailed. So man, we have learned to keep this thing going. You know what I mean? In spite of, you know what I mean? All the barriers, all the distractions, and all that. You know what I mean? We have learned to keep it going. And I'm so grateful. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, man.
Did he ever get this?
Yeah, he recorded it, but he'll have to upload it later. That's Jesse playing games.
What about what? What about what? Yeah.
Mine.
What about what?
Baby, don't care. I got
All right, it is what it is. Hey, all right.
it. You got it?
All right,
See
baby.
you in a couple weeks.
You got it.
Yeah.
Here, yeah.
Thank you, John.
You got it, you got it.
Everything? Yeah, we put these on the rack.
Now,
Roll it whole.
which one don't go in the right now?
The one in the hole.